Now let's move into some pre-shading. So I'm just going to get some thinners, and we're going to be using Vallejo Black, which is their 057 focus, yeah, and which is their model air range. Right, now we're going to we don't want this to be, you know, too thick, you know, maybe like 40% paint to thinners. Right, we want sort of, you know, okay coverage, but we want to have the control to actually spray this down. So you know, air pressure, right, we're going to be getting in close, right, because we're going to get in close, right, this is why we thin this paint down a little bit more, right, because we need to drop the air pressure, right. So really you kind of want to be around maybe the 15 psi mark, right, which means you need to thin your paints accordingly to get that nice feathered spray pattern, right, to you know, be able to get in close. Because when we get in close, we're going to be like maybe, you know, a centimeter maybe away, right, and when we get that close, too much air pressure kind of blasts too much air pressure down, and too much air, which then sort of dries up your needle quicker, and it also creates like a spider leg effect. And what we want to do is, you know, actually probably move the model out the way a bit first, right. We get a kitchen paper towel and we just sort of test and see how we are spraying, right. So we just want to see we're getting a nice straight line. Yes, I mean, maybe even on your surface here, you want to see you're getting a nice straight line, but are you, you know, getting spidering a lot, right, because your air pressure might be still too high, right. What I mean by the spidering is if we sort of do that, as you can see, we end up with these sort of spider legs, right. We don't want that, right. So that seems, you know, pretty good, but the best test is on the model. So what we're going to do here pre-shading, well, first off we want our biting point. So what we do here is we press down the trigger, and it's just like a car. We press down the trigger, or you know, you put down the clutch, right, and as you slowly pull back, you know, it's that point where you get the biting point where that paint just starts to come out. You want to get that, you want to hold that, and then move your paintbrush around. So I'm just going to slowly bring back my trigger, and I should start getting paint at a certain point. There we go. That paint is now coming out, and I'm just going to follow our recess panel lines just like so. And what I want to do as well is I don't want to be going off and making this so square and uniform and precise, right. I don't want every single recess panel line to look exactly the same, right. If one's got less black paint on it than the other, you know, maybe one's really black, like I could just sort of concentrate on that one there and make it really black, right. Some may be sort of faded, right, anything like that. Just sort of keep it random, right, and don't be too neat. I mean, people, you see people do this and it's just like, oh, that's got to be neat. It ain't got to be neat, right. Weathering is random, it's not neat, it's not precise, it's not square. You know, keep it nice and random. Different intensities of black, different, you know, unneatnesses, a bit of a mistake here and there. It actually all adds to the flavor of doing our pre-shading. As you can see, that isn't brilliant or neat, you know, maybe a little bit of a mistake here and there, lighter and darker in areas, right. You know, that's what you want. It's going to get covered up with our main coat, so all the, you know, so we say the ugliness of like some of the mistakes and stuff, it gets feathered in, and it actually comes out nicer. You know, it's like the ugly duckling, you know, as it grows up, it, you know, looks more nicer, and that's what we are after with this. The one other thing to remember is with this one, with this particular build, I'm going to add some different colours, right. So I'm only going to be doing the recess panel lines, so I'm going to leave the recess rivet lines for a different colour. So I'll just finish all this and we'll move on to our next colour.